Christine Lagarde is one of the world's most powerful women. She leads the International Monetary Fund, an organisation set up to promote economic stability worldwide. We caught up with her in Dublin, Ireland, to discuss Greece, the future of the Eurozone and the global economy in 2015. And there's also 750,000 people living in poverty in Ireland, according to government statistics. When you hear these kind of stories, how these austerity cuts have affected people's lives, what do you feel as the public face of the IMF? There's that terrible story of the 77-year-old pharmacist who shot himself dead in Athens because he didn't want to leave debts for his children. What do you feel when you hear these stories?
Well, we're short of time, but there's just 2 points I'd like to pick you up on there. You said in your answer that most of these people aren't refugees. According to the International Organization for Migration, nearly half of the people that have come to the EU have come from Syria. I mean, you're not moving from Syria to get used to Europe's schools and hospitals. You're fleeing conflict.
It was very good. Thank you very much.
If David Cameron's your first choice for Prime Minister, who's your second choice?
Do you want to be Prime Minister?
Afternoon. I'm very, very hopeful that David Cameron will be re-elected this afternoon.
But why are you not going to get an overall majority? If you've handled the economy so well, why are you not going to get an overall majority?
Where are you from?
Euronews.
Why didn't you just wait and see what the British people say?
But surely it should be a landslide if you've handled it so well.
Voila.
Do you need a change of leadership, perhaps?
So the next Prime Minister is going to face some pretty big economic challenges. Further spending cuts could choke one of the main sources of growth in the British economy. And with the Eurozone debt crisis still casting a shadow over Britain's main export market, there's still a long way to go before the next government can say the recovery has been fully secured. But isn't the danger with that could be seen as collectively blaming all Muslims for terror?
No, I'm not blaming all Muslims. Obviously, the overriding majority of Muslims are not supportive of terror, but the majority of terrorists are Muslim. That's a fact.
After disembarking here, the refugees will make a 10-kilometre walk in the already boiling hot sun towards Serbia. A walk towards perhaps a better future, but yet at the same time they remain unsure about what kind of welcome awaits them in Europe. Il y a combien de gens dans ce camp ici à Bangui?
À l'époque, il y avait 130 000 personnes et comme il y a eu un peu de calme, certaines personnes sont parties. Pour l'instant, il reste à peu près 60 000 personnes dans les sites Mpoko.
Belgium's footballing fortunes have transformed rapidly over the past decade. The Red Devils topped their World Cup qualification group, much to the delight of the entire country. Some reckon they could go all the way in Brazil, their first major tournament in 12 years. And these Belgian players are the very best of fantasy football. Stars such as Chelsea's Eden Hazard have taken England's Premier League by storm.
Still no name has been released yet. The bookies' favourite is George, followed by James and Alexander. James Franey, Euronews, London. Why have you got this secondary voluntary pension with the European Parliament? Why did you sign up for that if you're so keen on cutting back EU spending?
Well, so that when I'm dead, my family will get something. But look, we don't want to cut.
The people who vote for you don't have a second
want to cut
pension.
back on EU spending. You're quite wrong with that question. We want to abolish EU spending.
But why have you got the second pension then?
I want the British contribution to go from £55 million a day.
But you could start by helping.
I think, to be frank with you.
Why did you sign up?
I think to be frank with you, that is a pretty small, petty irrelevance compared to the big question of this country.
But you've been bashing the bureaucrats in Brussels for years.
Well, you could argue I should work without a salary if you want to argue that. But
No. But I can't afford
to do that.
I mean, there were many MEPs that declined to take part because they thought it was immoral. I mean, so why did you sign up for it?
I didn't meet many of them.
So why did you sign up for the pension? I mean, if you disagree with this EU spending
because I've come
largesse,
into politics at a massive personal financial loss, and as I say, once I'm dead, I think my family should get some long-term benefit out of it.
So it's for Farage Jr. to go and buy a nice flat in London. Is that the idea of an EU pension?
Won't pay for that.
Nigel Farage, thank you very much.